They're going to miss me around here, folks. Make no mistake. You know my guest tonight from his many memorable characters during his 5-year run on Saturday Night Live. He appeared in the hit movies A League of Their Own and City Slickers 2. His new comedy is titled High School High, a place where I spent the best 6.5 years of my life. Please welcome, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, our old friend. He's back here for the first time, Mr. Jon Lovitz. Gosh, good to see you, Jon.
Hello, Greg. Mr. Lovitz to you.
Yes, Mr. Lovitz this, Mr. Lovitz that.
That's
my
right.
final show, and you dress up like a priest. Well, for crying out loud.
So you're leaving, are you?
It's very sad. I'd be
see
moving
you
on.
later. Not.
You know, actually, Jon and I, one of the first interviews I ever did, I was working at this small cable channel called Movie Time, and they sent me over to this publicist's office to interview a young guy from Saturday Night Live named Jon Lovitz. It was you.
Yes.
We sat down, and it was just wild, right?
Well, the funny thing, remember you asked me, you said, God, I wish I could do what you guys are doing. And
yeah.
And now you're off to do a movie with Jack Nicholson, and I'm thinking, man, I wish I could do what you're doing.
The old days from Saturday. Well, what do you do?
The old switcheroo.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, fine. Get bigger than me.
Stop
Fine.
it.
You.
Yes? Have you had a good summer? You had a good summer? You've enjoyed yourself this summer of '96?
Yeah, I did. You know what I did was I got to play. They have this Hollywood Stars game, which I guess now you'll get to play in. And
might be a while, but I'll take your word for it.
Anyway, you get to play baseball in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
And then anyway, I got to sing the national anthem at Dodger Stadium, so that was pretty amazing. Because I'm from here, so you know, to be there in center field and you get to sing it.
But were you like a fan of baseball as a kid, or do you just go because you're a star and they've invited you to come to this thing?
Well, a little of both, but no, yeah, I was a huge baseball fan. From like 7 to 15, I wanted to be Willie Mays, and you know.
Right.
And my dad had to break it to me, you know, son, you're.
It's not going to work, is it?
It's not going to happen. So, but that was great.
And you actually you actually got to play in the in Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah.
And then you got to sing.
And then I had to sing the national anthem.
Now you're like a serious singer though, so I would think the dichotomy here would be that everyone would be thinking, oh my gosh, Jon Lovitz, I have to laugh whatever he does, but you're a serious singer.
I can sing okay.
Johnny.
A little fake opera, I call it. Well, I sang at Carnegie Hall, you know.
Now, was that like a comedy thing, or was it serious?
It was a comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was Carnegie Hall.
Right, right.
And comedy is a serious business.
Yeah.
So it was serious.
And is it just baseball that piqued your interest? Because I saw you at another one of your star events featuring tennis players, right?
Yeah, tennis when I was 8. So I got to play in this tournament at UCLA in front of 10,000 people. You'd play like 4 games, but I was playing with Tracy Austin in doubles, and I was playing against Stefan Edberg in Seal.
Right.
And apparently, Seal had always wanted to be Bjorn Borg. Growing up.
And his father had to break it to him.
And say to him, yeah, it's not going to happen. Do
Stefan Edberg and Tracy Austin, do they play with intensity when you're playing them?
No, not really. I mean, they're just kind of saying, you know, they get the ball and they're like, here you are, here.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, they might as well just like hand it to you and go, here, bounce it, you can hit it now. But it was fun, you know, you're playing against these top pros, and you know, I hit one in the middle, and you know, I'm Seal. He couldn't return my serve.
And wasn't Dana Carvey there? Wasn't he involved in the thing?
Yeah, Dana Carvey hosted it.
Mm-hmm. Now, when did you get into? When was your first like thing that you ever did that made you say, "I want to start performing"?
Well, I guess when I saw Woody Allen's movie Take the Money and Run. You talking about when I was at camp?
First time, whenever it struck you that you thought, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to be up on stage somewhere.
Oh, well, I was like 7 years old. I was at home sick, and they had the Jolson Sings Again, Larry Parks. And so Al Jolson, I was like 7, and he's in the movie, he's singing, they're always singing this, you know, Mammy, and so one night he's singing it, and he always sings it to his mother. Well, that night, in the movie, his mother dies. So he goes on stage, and the theater is sold out except for the one seat where his mother always sat. So then he starts singing Mammy, Mammy, Mammy. And then in his mind, everybody disappears, and he just sees his mother sitting there. Mammy, Mammy, and the tears are coming down his eyes, and I just started crying. And then the next day I started imitating Al Jolson. I was 7. I mean, that's what I was like. And I said, that's for me. And then I saw James Cagney in Yankee Doodle Dandy, and I said, that's what I want to do.
Oddly enough, it was the Al Jolson thing that made me want to get into performing.
Really?
Yeah, same thing. It's amazing.
Well, you've got that makeup on.
Well, when you were a kid, though, you were kind of shy, though, right?
Well, I was very shy, yes. Actually, I went, when I was 13, I went to this camp. My parents, actually, they forced me. So anyway, I went to this camp, and it was backpacking.
That's the worst, when they make you go off somewhere you don't want to
Well,
go.
it ended up turning out good, actually. But so there was the camp's first backpacking trip. And the third day, we're out in the woods, and a friend of mine and I were trying to catch up to these other guys, and everybody was a year older than me, and I hadn't grown yet, so I was small, and they were like a foot taller. And they went ahead, and the next thing I knew, I was lost. I was in Northern California, like from like 9:30 to 4:30. I was lost, and I'm screaming help, and I saw bear tracks. I go, I'm going to catch up to that bear soon. And
Are you by yourself or with your other little friend?
I was by myself, yeah. I was 13. I'd never been in the woods, and I was just lost all day.
It was a pretty traumatic experience.
Yeah, and I saw this road way off, so I headed for it, and someone said they heard baby coyotes screaming, and apparently it was me. You know, help! I was screaming, going to hell. I thought I was dead. You know, I didn't. And anyway, I hit the road, and someone said, "Who are you?" You know, I go, "Who are you?" You know, and I was acting all cocky, you know, and I'd been lost all day.
Right.
So I get back to the
tears
camp.
are like swelling up now and drying, so you can be a little more cocky at this point.
And I'm like, I found the road. So and they go, "Oh, we're going to send on a helicopter in 10 minutes." And so anyway, I get back to the camp, and the prettiest girl in the camp kissed me on the cheek, and like all of a sudden everybody knew who I was.
Yeah.
And no one knew who I was before that. And I was like, oh man. So then, and it was pretty exciting if you're shy to go like, yeah, well, you're the guy that got lost. You know, well, what a thing to brag about, but it was something. So then, I stayed up there all summer, and then the next group came up, and they're going, and so now I'm the old timers. They're going, hey, tell us about that time you got lost. I go, well, fellas, it was like this. That's just what I was like, bragging about it. Then I saw those bear tracks. I knew the bear was close.
I sit back now and I sip my Diet Coke and feel good about it all. Well, we have to do a break. We'll be back with Mr. Jon Lovitz, who's right here to my left in his priest outfit after these words.